Hello everyone. Very different vibe from usual, I know. But yeah, this is not one of my usual reactions and it feels weird. I swear this feels like I'm recording my first ever video. It doesn't feel like I've been doing this for months. This feels like the first time. I was really debating whether to do this video or not because this is not a channel about myself and I never intended to make this channel about myself. I started this channel literally just because I wanted to find some carrots that would help me with my 17 discovery. So that was the main reason, and that's how the channel will continue to be until I will finish all of 17's content and I will get into some other new group maybe. But once I posted on my YouTube community post that my EP was coming up very soon, some of you asked if I could either do a listening party or make a video explaining the meaning and the process behind the songs, and I thought that it would be so interesting for me, as like mostly for me, because I don't really talk much about my music in general, even with the people around me, which is a shame because music is really one of the things that I'm most passionate about in life, probably the thing that I'm most passionate about in life. So I think that having this channel and talking about someone else's music, in this case 17, has helped me a lot, keeping the passion and the spark alive about, talking about music. Even if it's not mine, even if it's someone else's music, I think it has helped me a lot. And also hearing your feedback, not only on the music that I'm reacting to, your thoughts and insights on the music, on 17's music, but also on my way of reacting and on my way of expressing myself when it comes to music. I think it has helped a lot. So even if you don't think you did anything for me, you did. So thank you. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people are gonna see this video, and I honestly don't really care that much because I'm really just doing this for myself mostly, and yeah, and for the few people that asked. So I hope this is what you hoped to see from me regarding my EP. I don't know, I think that for today I wanted to listen to the songs together and then just explain the meaning and a little bit of the process, my creative process behind it, and if I have some time, maybe even more in depth about the production, maybe. We'll see where this takes us. A little background on me as an artist. I consider myself to be a lyricist. I don't consider myself to be a professional singer or a producer. Even though I sing and co-produce my songs, I don't think I have what it takes to do these titles justice if attributed to me. I only started learning how to sing because I wanted to bring to life my lyrics, and same with producing. But I don't know, I don't think I can sing that well, and it's mostly self-taught, so it's not that great. And when it comes to producing instead, I usually work with a ghost co-producer who is an angel, and he understands my needs music-wise in a way that I could only dream of, honestly, years ago. And yeah, so I was very lucky in finding this person who helps me out. He's a ghost producer, so he's not credited on my music because we work together. Like, he does not earn from my music royalties. I pay him beforehand to help me out with my production, and that's just how he wants it to be, so I'm okay with it. Anyway, this was all to say that I consider myself to be a lyricist, and that's how my music making process usually starts. I usually only start with lyrics. There have been a few exceptions. For example, the second track in this EP, which is My Name, that started from a track that my producer sent me, and I wrote the lyrics on the track. But usually I start with the lyrics. I try out different melodies. I record myself trying out different melodies, and once I think I found the one, I send it out to my producer, and we started talking about the overall vibe of the song. So I tell him, I want this to feel very acoustic, or I want this to feel very spooky, or I want this to feel like very pop vibe. I don't know, I just tell him how the overall vibe of the song should feel. And he starts working on the first version of the instrumental. And he sends it back to me, and then I work on it again. I add things, I remove things, I just change it a little bit just so that it's closer to my vision of the instrumental. And then it's also always a back and forth, because he's not here, my producer is not here, so we work long distance, and it's just always a back and forth of stems, and we just continue working on them until we think we have the first version of the song that we like. So then I record the vocals literally in my closet right here. This is my walk-in closet door. I mean, it's not really a walk-in closet, it's like 2 meters per 2, so I wouldn't call it a walk-in closet, but it's bigger than a usual closet cabinet, you know. So I usually record in there, and yeah, I just send out the vocals to him. He mixes and masters everything, and then we see how it is, what could change, what is right. That's just how the process is. So this was a little background on me as an artist and what I like, my usual process of making music. But as I said, it changes. So I think we can just get into it and hear the songs, and I can talk a little bit about them. This feels absolutely insanely weird.
Silver spoon, silver tongue kept me in your iron lung. You gave me breath, you gave me life. Your voice a spell, it hypnotized. Velvet rose, velvet tongue licked right where the wounded stung. Burst is like salt on a cut. You preached only the good die young. Look into my eyes, lock in there or die. These words you said, stop time, left me stuck and agonized. I looked into your eyes, I dared and still I died. Yet I'd run back to you if you came back to me tonight. I said, feel me like I feel you, won't give up on me. I swear I won't become one of your casualties. But now you're smiling and I see my blood on your teeth, and I'm falling like I'm all down to your feet. I suck a soul hunter, I gave you what was left of me. You're my fucker, faith crusher. I poured my life, you took a sip. I sold my soul to you just because you needed it. You said I'm sorry, pull me closer just to peel my skin. Cursed kiss, pull me in. Deadly sin under my skin. You win, cause no one survives where you have been. No one can look at you dead in the eyes. Get sucked in and come out alive, but everyone looks and everyone dies. Your mouth's eyes so hypnotic, be lying. No, I keep it, lower my chin. Knocked on my door, I let you in. Want my revenge, stress, I must confess. I hoped you would've retrieved that my thread. So fucking naive, how could I pretend I didn't still feel your fingers on my flesh? Look into my eyes, talking there or die. These words you said,
dark.
Time left me stuck and agonized. I looked into your eyes, I did, and still I died. Yet I'd run back to you if you came back to me tonight. I said, feel me like I feel you, or give up on me. I swear I won't become one of your casualties. But now you're smiling and I see my blood on your teeth, and I'm falling like I'm out down to your feet. I suck a soul hunter, I gave you what was left of me. You were mine, fuck a faith crusher. I poured my life, you took a sip. I sold my soul to you just because you needed it. You said I'm sorry, pull me closer just to peel my skin.
Voila! As you can see, I don't really have a hard time listening to this song. I actually really enjoy it a lot. But this is the most vulnerable and the hardest song I've ever written. Because on the surface, I think it might sound like a very toxic relationship, you know, someone being so obsessed over somebody else, even though it's hurting them. You know, being with a narcissistic gaslighter. And I think that that's also a very good interpretation of it. And that's the beauty of music, you know, being able to interpret lyrics in many different ways, depending on your own things that are going on in your life. I think that's really the beauty of music. But for me, this is about my eating disorder, if it was a person. I think I have mentioned at least once before that I have struggled with an eating disorder, and I think it has been one of the hardest challenges I've ever had to face in my life. It almost killed me. And, you know, thinking now about how long I have had to live with this monster inside my head, it's really painful, considering it all started when I was like 14 or 15. And I had struggled with other mental health issues before. As I said, I struggled with depression and anxiety since a very young age. But I got used to those. As bad as it sounds, I did get used to living with depression, because it started at such a young age, and no one knew. And I think that it was a very taboo topic when I was a little bit younger. So especially in my family. So no one really knew. I couldn't really go to a child therapist or anything. And I just had to learn how to live with it. And at some point it became I just became used to it. As bad as it sounds, I did. When my eating disorder started, though, I was a teenager. I was 14, 15, still a child though, you know, and I didn't know what that was. I couldn't put a name on it. I was scared when I found out what it was, because I always heard people talking about anorexia, and I was like, oh my god, that can never be me. That can never be me. Like, how do these people end up like this? And when I was diagnosed, I was both happy because I could finally put a name on it, but at the same time I was shocked. But I actually didn't start writing this song because of this. I didn't plan for it to be this deep or emotional. I actually started writing this song because I wanted to try something new. I wanted to try and write a song the way I write books. So completely fictional, completely out of my imagination. I wanted this to sound like a dark romantasy book. You know, those books, you know what I mean, right? I think I got through the first verse and pre-chorus, but the more I tried to keep it detached, the more it felt wrong. And that was because I realized that I cannot write songs about things that I've not experienced myself, or someone really close to me has experienced. I have to have lived that thing to some level to be able to write about it. And that's when I decided to just scrap the song completely. After a few months though, I picked it up again, and while reading the lyrics, I was like, this isn't fictional at all. This is actually exactly how I feel about my eating disorder. And that's when Soul Hunter became this way for me of describing what it feels like to live with something that pretends to give you control, comfort, and even beauty, but in reality is just destroying you, like literally killing you. And yeah, that was it. And that's why I say that it's interpretable in many different ways, whether it's an abusive relationship, addiction, or just a very sick mindset. It's about giving control to something that is only gonna hurt you. Yeah, this is a way for me to tell my younger self, but also anybody else who has gone through something like this, or feels this way about something else about that happened in their life. It's just my way of hugging you, really, and telling you that it's not your fault, and you were a victim to this gaslighting monster in your head. Okay? Anyway, I don't want this to get too sad, because I think, you know, the EP, all of the 3 songs are very fucking sad. So I don't want to get too sad myself. I just want to explain this in a very not objective, it's still very subjective, but in a very calm and collected way, without getting too emotional. So yeah. Also, this was the hardest song to record ever. I literally cried my eyes out at every single recording session. I could not get through it, because when I first picked it up again, the song, and started writing it, I wrote it in 15 minutes. Literally finished writing the lyrics in 15 minutes. I blurted everything out, and I never touched them again. I never corrected anything else. They just stayed as they were. But recording this song was actual hell. I could not get through it. It was just too emotional for me at the time. But yeah, before I move on, I really want to say something production-wise. I wanted to have that push and pull effect on the instrumental as well. I wanted the verses to feel very intimate and tense, almost like you're trapped in your own head, and then when the chorus comes, it's just like a burst of emotion and anger and frustration, and I just wanted it to feel that way. I had that in mind, and I wanted it to feel very spooky and mysterious and dark. That was the first instruction that I gave to my co-producer, and he worked on a first version for me, and I think I will put it up here if I find the time to insert everything when editing. But I had this first version, but I think it was missing something. It felt too dark, and it was missing something, and I didn't know what that was. In the second version instead, it was too bright. We couldn't find a middle ground. So when I received both of these versions, I just literally put them together. I put the 2 together. Of course, I fixed some things to make them actually work together. But yeah, I need to insert the 2, the first, the second, and the final version. Let's move on to my name. Finally, I've been talking literally an hour, guys. An hour. What the fuck?
I only knew my name when you said it out loud. Loved how the letters would fall so gently out your mouth. But that was long before you left and let it ride. Now it scrapes the walls of the place I called home. A sounds of venom staining all my sheets, where roses grew thorns and silence grew tears. I hope you'll hear my name in every stray kid song. I hope you'll see my face everywhere you go. I hope you'll feel my hate chilling all your bones. 'Cause you once swore on my name, now I bet you dare my name. I hope you'll fix my pain each time you hear my songs. I hope your nights feel cold even when lights stay on. I hope you quit my text, then choke on what went wrong. So now please say my name and walk the whole ocean. We used to share the skirt in my chest that I burned like dust just before it black to rest. But you flinched choke inside your lungs. I hope you hear it ring in every honest tongue. I hope our breath keeps score and ruins all your fun. 'Cause you once swore on my name, now you spit it out in vain. I hope your brand new days lose color and turn gray. I hope your hips still shake when you call my face. Go on now, say my name and drown in what it means.
Well, needless to say, I wrote this song when I was really angry. I know, this sounds really bad. I sound like a terrible person who is wishing the worst things upon somebody else. But it was born because I thought I was completely over this person. And I realized that I wasn't. I found myself walking through the streets of his town one day, and I was just seeing us in literally every corner of that town. I couldn't unsee us together, and that made me think, does this person ever think of me the same way that I think of him? You know, when he hears a song, or he goes to a specific place, or he does a specific thing, do these things that we used to do together remind him of me? But then another wave of realization hit, and it was that even if he did think of me, we wouldn't cross each other's mind in the same way. He would only think of me just as another person from his past that he has moved on from. And I would think of him not from a place of love or longing, but from a place of resentment. So that's how my name became this very cathartic, almost spiteful letter. Not because I actually wanted bad things for them, but because I wanted them to remember, you know, this person hurt me real bad in the past, and I was like, I hope you cannot escape what she did. I hope my ghost still haunts you to this day. Jokes aside though, this was really just a way for me to think, oh my god, I hope he remembers what he did to me, and he is reminded of me every time he sees this or hears this or goes here or goes there, and he regrets it. He regrets it, and he acknowledges it, first of all, because I don't think he ever did. Lyrics wise, it's very self-explanatory. There's a Stray Kids reference. But in the verses, I really wanted to start the verse in a very kind of romantic, with a very romantic imagery, you know, and then turn it around. And, you know, it's this kind of contrast between the love that once was and the heartbreak that it became. So that's how I wanted both of the verses to be. And production-wise, as I said, I was sent this track, but I actually did ask for a change. This track went on with a bridge and a last chorus. But as you can see, both Soul Hunter and My Name don't have a bridge. Hiccup, This Town, the third track, is the only track in the album that has a bridge, because I wanted it to be a standalone bridge in the album. It's one of my favorite things I've ever written, and I wanted it to be a standalone bridge in the album. So I decided to cut the bridge in My Name, and I decided to go for a very different last chorus. I really wanted the final chorus to feel like closure. You know, like, yes, I'm still hurt, but now it's out of me, like a last breath. You know, it does feel like you're kind of letting go of it. Like, after all the kind of anger from the first and second chorus, you're just... But yeah, this was My Name, and moving on to Hiccup. Guys, this is very, very late at night, and I am falling asleep, literally. I don't know why I decided to do this today, but tomorrow I have to record June's solos, and which is very exciting, but still, I shouldn't be doing this now. This one has a lyric visualizer.
Darling, don't you recall the sunset spent at the cemetery, burning cigarettes in our hands, how we'd say we'll never marry. Guess we'll have to see how it ends. But please let me look from afar, afar from these roads and boulevards, afar from this big dreams graveyard, graveyard that bleeds of old remarks, remarks, reminding me that no matter how far I go, no matter how fast I run, this town keeps pulling me back. This town still cut deep to the bone, no matter the miles I drive or all signs I leave behind. Its trees will call out my name, and I'll never say goodbye. Darling, don't you remember the nights we spent by the old train tracks, carving initials into the timbers, swearing we'd never look back. Guess we'll have to see how it ends. But please let me look from afar, afar from these roads and boulevards, afar from this big dreams graveyard, graveyard that bleeds of old remarks, remarks, reminding me that no matter how far I go, no matter how fast I run, this town keeps pulling me back. This town still cut deep to the bone, no matter the miles I drive or all signs I leave behind. Its trees will call out my name, and I'll never say goodbye. Oh, darling, don't you recall how I tell you you should sober up, you should quit the drugs. You look like a homeless junkie who now fears the sun, and you tell me you should eat some more, you should let it go. You look like a ghost, and I think you lost the plot. And you sobered up, oh, you quit the drugs. You now shimmer like the colors right under the sun. But I ain't no more, I couldn't let it go. I nearly died, cause being that ghost was my only shot to erase my name from those trees and finally say goodbye. Cause no matter how far I go, no matter how fast I run, this town keeps pulling me back. This town still cut deep to the bone, no matter the miles I drive or all signs I leave behind. Its trees will call out my name, and I'll never say goodbye.
Well, ironically enough, opposite to Soul Hunter, I didn't cry once while recording this song, but I do cry every time I listen to it now. As you know, I come from a very small town in northern Italy, and I always hated it here. Always. It's very close-minded. I've always felt like my dreams and aspirations were always too big for it. Mostly because of the judgment of the people around me, and just really how close-minded it is, and low-key racist. I mean, Italy is known to be a very racist country, and I think I want to consider myself lucky because I have not really faced racism in the same way that a lot of other black people have, because I'm half white, and that's good enough for people to, spare me, if you want to put it that way. But this would need a separate video to talk about anyway. So there have always been so many reasons why I've always felt trapped here, and one of them was also my family situation, the household that I grew up in, and I don't want to go too deep into it because most of my trauma is originated from, as most of us, I think, who grew up with trauma, most of it comes from childhood, and mine does for sure. Family trauma, religious trauma, everything tied to it. So I've definitely always felt very foreign in this town, in this city in general, I think. But there is one place, one and only place in this little town that I cherish and love so much. Sometimes you hear the train pass behind my house, and behind those train tracks there's the town cemetery, and me and my best friend would always, every night, go there at sunset when we were teenagers, and we would smoke cigarettes. Don't smoke, but yeah, we would just stay there, talk about anything in the past, the future, the present, whatever came to mind. And those were the moments where the song was born, especially the last few conversations that we had before we moved out. We were both struggling a lot with our own things, and we both went back to very, very bad coping mechanisms. She went back to partying a lot and drinking a lot, and I went back to my eating disorder habits that I was already recovering from. It was a shit show. We were miserable, but still we'd always hang out there and talk about leaving and never looking back. And when we eventually did leave, I moved to England and she moved to Texas in the US. We thought we made it, even though it was for a short period of time. We weren't moving permanently, but we thought we did it. We thought if we escape this once, it's gonna be fine. We've made it. But when we came back, we realized that even though we left, we never truly escaped. And the problem wasn't the town itself, but all the memories and the feelings tied to it, of course. But at the same time, I would look at her when she came back, and she was doing better. She was doing so much better. And she is my soul sister. I love her to death. And I was so happy to see her like that. She deserved it. And that didn't happen for me. I was still stuck there with the same feelings and the same coping mechanism. So yeah, Hiccup, this town, was really just a letter to the both of us, looking back to all of the things that we went through and all of the things that we used to say to each other when we were younger, and kind of mocking us, saying, guess we'll have to see how it ends, You're just talking, but you're young and you don't know anything. But then the bridge, which, as I said before, is something that I'm really proud of. I really like what I wrote there and how I did it. It's kind of this dialogue between two people who are really struggling. She's fighting her demons, I'm fighting mine, and they're both really unhealthy, but at the end she got better and I didn't. So it's this kind of acceptance that maybe to get better, the only way is to, and interpret this as you want to, I don't want this to get too dark, but maybe the only way to get better is to erase myself from the streets, and finally say goodbye. That's where my mind went to at some point. And I was in a really dark place, but that's why I decided to do something in the bridge to lighten it up a bit. I think it was gonna be way too sad if I didn't add something quirky in it. So that's why I added the line, now you shimmer like the columns right under the sun. If you have never seen Twilight, I'm sorry, you're missing out on a beautiful reference here. But If you have watched Twilight, please tell me that you caught this, because I mean it's really hard not to catch if you did see Twilight, so please tell me that you liked it. Oh, but I forgot the most important part. This song is called Hiccup, This Town. It was originally called This Town, just This Town, and that's why it's still in the brackets, because I think just calling it Hiccup, people would really struggle to understand what this is about. But I decided to call it Hiccup because that's literally what this town feels to me. Like, so annoying, like a hiccup that you cannot get rid of. And that's why I wanted to kind of mimic an hiccup during the chorus, and it was so hard to record. I couldn't do it while singing it all in one go. I had to layer so many trials of me trying to do that hiccup, so yeah, that was a really fun way to record. It was really hard because I think I couldn't find the right way to go about it, but you know, I really liked how it came out. I really do. And you know, production wise, it's really nothing crazy. This is a song that I like. My producer sent me this chord progression that I really enjoyed, and I was like, I want to write a song on this kind of vibe, very acoustic. I just wanted a very acoustic vibe, like very kind of folk poppy, but acoustic version vibe. So I started writing the lyrics, not really keeping in mind the chord progression, and somehow at the end we made it work. Yeah, this is basically it. I don't think I have anything else to say. This EP means so much to me. It's one of the things I'm most proud of that I did so far. I worked really hard on it, and while working on this project, I realized how, you know, art is so accessible these days, but it's still a privilege, somehow. And I realized that the more I had to work to be able to make this possible. I think that if I start talking about my relationship with music and my path and how I got to do music, I will literally become a fountain, and I will have to drink my tears to dry them up. It was really hard for me, and I don't know how to explain this without getting too much into detail, which I don't really want to do, but it was mostly because, as I said before, of the household that I grew up in and the religious drama tied to it. Even though this was my dream since a very young age, I thought I would never be able to do it because of all the restrictions that I had for so many years and how precluded I was from my creativity. So being able to release this now is so satisfying. It's just really satisfying, and it makes me feel really proud of myself. I don't know, even if it's just 3 songs, I just poured my blood, sweat and tears into them, and my whole heart, really. So they mean a lot to me, but I can also accept criticism and feedback. So if you have some constructive critiques, let me know. I think we grow on feedback. Good feedback, bad feedback, whatever feedback. As long as it's not insulting, it's something that we can definitely grow with, and accepting it is good. It's good, so I'll wait for it, whether you liked them or you didn't. Yeah, I don't know if you expected something different from this video, or if you didn't expect this video at all, or if you liked it. I don't know. I'll probably never do this again because this feels weird, so I cannot wait to go back and watch 17. Which I probably saw you this afternoon, because this is coming out on Friday, so I probably did see you this afternoon. Anyway, I'll see you again on Patreon during the weekend and on Wednesday on YouTube. Anyway, bye bye.